I am Roy Collin, the host of the podcast. You can find everything about me by scanning the QR code there or going to roycollin.com. And you'll find my six podcasts, the Podfather, helping people become podcasters, the Awakening, exposing fraud and corruption, but with solutions, the Crypto, all things blockchain technology, meditation podcast, speaking podcast, and the Learn Polish podcast. You can also help the show by actually making a donation, visiting the store, or helping my sponsors. I hope you enjoyed this week's show. Welcome to the Crypto Podcast. You can find all our episodes on the cryptopodcast.org. I'm joined again by my good friend, Dr. Daniel Daniel. He was an award-winning dentist, but also a public speaker, thought leader, but he created the crypto program. We've discussed a lot of stuff. For those that might know him, I encourage you to go back. You just go into the website, just type his name, and you'll get the 3 episodes or 4, whatever at this stage. But each time there's fantastic information. Daniel, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Roy. Thanks for having me again. How have you been?
I've been okay. I mean, like, I'm not going to say what I've just said when we prior to recording it. If you're hiccups of life, but such is life.
Could you imagine how boring life would be without hiccups? I mean, it would probably be easy and good, but it'd be pretty boring.
Exactly. And plus, when we meet people, it's always the nice stories to say. So if you're not having, a bit of excitement in your life, what are you going to talk about?
Yeah, I love how we call hiccups excitement, but sure, it's the nicest term we could use for them.
Well, I mean, there's a few things we'll touch on today, but I suppose one, because basically today's that we're recording this the 21st of January 25. And, Trump came into office yesterday. He's doing a lot of executive orders. What's his appointment going to do to the market? Or have you seen anything that he's done? Because he's doing so many different things. He could have signed it in a fifth.
It's been a wild ride. I think he signed 200 executive orders yesterday, and I haven't gone because it's early here where we're recording. I've been up since 5:30 in the morning, but I haven't gone to the crypto part of it yet. But that's okay, because let's just take a look at the effect Trump has had so far. And there's been some big things happen over the weekend nobody saw coming, which always. The beautiful thing about crypto is you talk about excitement. It's nonstop excitement. It's 24/7. And just when you think you know what's going on is exactly when it does the exact opposite. So I'll give your listeners a bit of a quick story here. So crypto works in cycles. So generally every 4 years, there's a technical event called a halving. It happened April 24, April last year. And usually there's a certain amount of time after the halving where the market goes down. And then the bull run starts where things start to get exciting and all the value goes, into crypto and the values of the projects in crypto. So in crypto, I know if you've listened to the other ones, I'm not going to bore you. But basically, when you look at projects in crypto, the similar analogy would be like to a ticker in the stock market. So they're the same thing. So you look at the stock market and you see a ticker like AAPL for Apple or TSLA for Tesla. In crypto, think of the same thing: BTC, ETH, XRP, ADA. They're just tickers for the project. So what happens during the bull cycle is a lot of money goes into crypto and the values go up. And a bull cycle can last anywhere from 6 to 18 months long. So technically, it started around, I would say around the middle of October, you could start to see the market heat up. And then, of course, Trump, the big American election, because America as a country has a very dominant influence on the crypto market, very dominant influence. So what they do sort of, leads the market because most of the money in crypto comes from America. So the the presidential election was massive in terms of how it would influence what's happening in this bull cycle. For example, Trump was very pro crypto. Now, is Trump pro crypto truly? No. I mean, he looked at his last election, he didn't give a hoot about crypto, but he cares about winning the election and he cares about the crypto voters. So he cared about crypto and he took a very pro crypto stance because the Democrats had a very anti-crypto stance. They had the SEC in their back pocket, a guy named Gary Gensler who went to war against all crypto in America and drove out some incredible projects outside of the country, allowing Dubai and some other, I think another South American country to create hubs for crypto outside of America, which is really sad because America had a good stronghold on it. Anyways, long story short, he was competing against Harris, and Harris we wouldn't say she was anti-crypto, but the politics and the and basically they owned the SEC. What they made an effort to do was really regulate it severely, and they went to war against it. So everybody knew they weren't anti-crypto, but they definitely weren't pro-crypto. So it was better for crypto if Trump won. So when Trump won on November 4th or 5th, it sparked a huge sort of like rally in the crypto market, and things would double and triple in the next probably 4 to 6 weeks after he won in value. And that wasn't even the beginning of the bull run. That was just the start. And then of course comes Christmas, and any market, Roy, as your listeners will probably know, even in the stock market, nothing goes straight up. So in a bull run or in any market that's uptrending, it's going to move up, and then it's going to retrace a little bit or correct or pull back, and then move up and then pull back. And these pullbacks are normal and they're healthy. We had a big run the beginning of November after he won 4th or 5th of November. And then there was a bit of a pullback, I think just right before Christmas. Nice, healthy 20-30% correction, overall on average. Some went down 50, some went down 10. And then from there, a little bit of a movement, then another pullback. And then, coming into the inauguration last week, you could see the market getting exciting and the bullback's done. Everyone's like, holy smokes, this inauguration, things are going to go bananas. It's really going to spark another really nice upward trend in the market. People got excited mid last week, started pumping money in. You could see some stuff moving, and everybody was set Friday for Monday. However, Friday night, President Trump tweeted, "Hey, check this out. I launched my Trump meme." And the world, i.e., the crypto world, went nuts. And in a matter of 24 hours, 36 hours, it hit, forget, $15 billion market cap on a meme. And so you're people who listen, and they're like, okay, I've heard about memes. What the heck is a meme? A meme is a project in crypto that has no value and has no purpose other than a community-driven project. And that's all it is. So most memes in crypto are designed to be like a really quick pump and dump event where you get your money in, you hope it goes up, and then at some point someone starts selling, starts a cascade event, and the whole thing sells and goes down to zero. So they're in, goes up and goes down, and it's out. And people can make a lot of money, but remember, for every $100 million made in crypto, there's $100 million lost in crypto. And I'm pretty sure the staggering statistic is something upwards of like 95 or 99% of people who engage in memes don't make money. But you only hear about it because it's quick money and it's this and it's that. But really, these projects, they have no value. Now, every once in a while, the community that buys that meme sticks together, and they're like, no, we really kind of, this is a cool thing. Let's kind of hold this. For instance, there's a few of them. DOGE is a big one. Pepe is a big one. So these memes, and again, these projects, they have no inherent value. They're not doing anything. They just create something that's very cool that people want to be part of and people stick to. And that's, the 0.00001% of memes that actually make it after the initial craziness, and they make enable value. So for Trump to announce his meme Friday night and $15 billion market cap, which is, it hit the top 15 in crypto in 36 hours. So where did all that money come from? Nobody asks. Well, I'll let you know, from the crypto market. So as we were coming into the inauguration on Monday, thinking everyone's got their positions, everyone's bought, because we're thinking it's all going to go up, the market starts to plummet because so much money pulled out of the market and pulled in and pushed into this meme coin. And it went on, it's still going on now, but obviously it dropped. It hit $70, I think. Anyways, people made millions and millions of dollars off this, just aping in and doubling down, and it ran up. And then what happened Sunday afternoon? They released a Melania meme, which is his wife, I'm pretty sure, or ex-wife or something. I don't really follow. I'm Canadian, so I'm not too ingrained into the family of the U.S. president. But whatever, she released one, And that drained a little bit more money out the market, and that's starting to dump. So on Monday, yesterday, when we had thought we're coming into this absolutely swinging, the market had dumped from Friday to Monday. It was even less. So now we're in a perplexing time where people are very confused as to what this looks like. I'm not overly confused. See, the beautiful thing, Roy, when you're investing as a bull run investor, you don't worry about this stuff. It goes up 10%, it goes down 10%, it goes up 30%, it goes down. We don't care. We're not investing for a 30% bump. We're investing for double, triple, 5x, 10x or money. So these bumps in the roads, they're irrelevant. It's like when you're driving on the highway and you're looking over the hood. If you're looking immediately in front of your car, you're going to be you're going to be left and right, left and right, left and right. You're driving on the highway. What you're supposed to do is look way down the highway and just point the car in that direction and just keep going. And that's what we do as bull run investors. We don't worry about this stuff. People worry and they're like, oh, I could have got this. Now, this happened and a better entry. But at the end of the day, it's completely irrelevant. The market's going to go up. Whether it starts this week, whether it starts next week, whether it starts in February, it's going up. And so for me and my tribe, this is irrelevant. All this was an extra buying opportunity, an extra opportunity to buy the plays that we like even cheaper than what they were last week. So for us, it's a celebration. It's like, oh, this is fantastic. From the newer people onboarded, it's a gift. It's a gift because now instead of buying something at, for instance, $5, they're buying it at $2. So when it goes to 10, instead of them doubling their money, they're going to make 5x their money. So it's just a great opportunity for people in my world, but the people who are trading crypto or short-term investors or day traders or trying to long the market and short the market, it's volatile. It's crazy. It's, oh my God, my portfolio's down 30%. For us, we don't care. We don't look at our portfolio up or being down right now. Right now, it's just accumulation and chill and just wait. We ride this thing out and we know come, a week or two, you got to remember, Roy, and I know you know this, but your listeners have to understand. In crypto, 1 week is the equivalent of maybe 2 years in reality. Like that's how quick it moves. It's 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So everything you thought you knew last Thursday, this Thursday, it'll be a whole new world of crypto. So that's how quick it moves. So I don't sweat the small stuff. It's just craziness. He had to release the coin, by the way, before his inauguration to avoid any, because he made billions of dollars to avoid any legality issues because he wasn't officially president when this thing happened, right? When he released it. So he got inaugurated money. So, you're not messing with some people who don't know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. The good news is all that money that was made on that meme, it's going to roll back into the market anyways. So whether it rolls back in today, tomorrow, next week, we're all good. We're not worried at all. I just think it's fantastic. I thought it was funny. I thought it was crazy that the president, jumped in with 2 feet first, and him and his sons were doing some big stuff. They've created their own company and they're doing a bunch of stuff and they're leveraging it. And, they're going to make more off this than they probably will off the presidency. And, the presidents, they end up making a ton of money, but they'll do better off crypto, which is pure insanity.
And with when people are trading that, I mean, obviously the way they've set it up, they're obviously probably getting a royalty per transaction. Is that the way it is, that they're constantly making it, or how will it work when people?
No, they'll own so much of it. They'll own so many millions and millions of shares. So their shares are fabricated. Remember, they're mean. So if they have, I don't know, I can, if you have a second, I can check the stats and tell you how many shares are released. And it just takes me a quick second here. I'll pull it up. Yeah, let's pull it up. Official Trump. Here it is. Market cap, fully okay. Circulating supply, 100,000. Yeah, they only put out 100,000 million. There's a billion shares. They put out 200 million shares, and then each share is now worth $36. It hit a high. Where are we here? Trump. I want an official high. I don't want that one. It hit a high of $79. So there's 200 million shares released. You have 800 million, unreleased yet, right? So imagine how many shares of those are within their world. right? And each one, it hit $80 each. So whatever, it's only at 36. If you have 100 million shares put aside, or 50 million, or just a million shares, right? Just a million and 200. So a million shares at 36, that's just 36 million. And that's easy. So within, if you got a billion shares to distribute, you release 200 million. Of that 200 million, I don't know how many had been distributed privately to people within the circle. But I mean, if you get 500,000 shares and it hit $50, that's only 25 million, Roy, in what, 24 hours, because you know the right people or you're part of the right project. It's insane. It's hard to understand. And for that project on 200,000, 200 million circulating shares to hit 15 billion market cap. I mean, that was just something to be said for how crazy it is. And it's a meme. It has no value. But the point is, it all happened the Friday night, Saturday, Sunday before the inauguration. Everyone wasn't sure what the inauguration was. Firstly, it was a holy shit. The market goes up into Monday. Then on Monday, it's probably going to be a sell news event. The market will go down, but the market pulled back. Coming into Monday, we're all like, wow, it's going to jam up. It's going to fry up. And then surprise, Friday night, a tweet. No one saw it coming. Nobody knew this was happening. They did a great job keeping it under wraps, and it blew the whole world apart. And now everyone's sitting there scratching their heads. And like I said, for us, we're long-term investors, long-term being the next 4 to 8 months, like within 2025. So in crypto, a long-term investor is this year. In the stock market, a long-term investor is, 5 to 10 years down the road, but 10 years in crypto is like a few months. So we are technically long-term investors in crypto. We're looking forward to whatever, whenever things start to spark up, and whether it happens, like I said, in January, the beginning of February, it's going to happen next few weeks. You'll see some upward movement. And once it gets going, it's going to catch fire, because Trump is coming in, and I did not read what he put out in terms of the executive orders relative to crypto, but for sure it's guaranteed he's doing a lot of really good stuff. He's already replaced the SEC commissioner, Gary Gensler, who was anti-crypto and waged war last year, and he's out. And the new Pro Crypto SEC chair is in, and all of his cabinet is looking pro crypto. His running mate, JD Vance, is a big AVAX holder, which is like a layer one, which has its own blockchain, and that's going to do really well. So there's really, it's all lights are green for this year. Plus, again, the stock market, he's pro stock market. Trump likes it when the market is doing well. He actually, when I read this last week, he likes to look at the health of the American stock market as his report card as the president. So he believes he's doing a good job when the market is doing good, which is fantastic news for everybody in the market. Because when the stock market does good, it's a risk on environment, which generally means crypto does good. So all lights are green for this year, and we're excited. And just a crazy ride, though, just to imagine the president of the United States releasing a meme 2 days before his inauguration and it going absolutely nuts. So how out of the blue that came.
With Musk, which he's connected with DOGE. I don't know what other ones he is, but what's strange is he seemed to be like Trump's additional son, because he was with him so often, despite having 11 children. I don't know what he's done with them, but he's not spending time with his children. How he's running all these business and doing these so-called tweets, I don't know. But what's he at? Has he done more memes himself? Because I mean, it's the exact same thing. Doge has no value either, as it is just kind of speculation and just whether people decide to be connected to it.
Doge is a meme. It's a community-based thing. It stood the test of time. It's one of the classics. It's not going anywhere. It's going to stick around. It's right up there with Pepe. No, he's not really doing much other than, I think he's got bigger things on his plate now that he connected himself to Trump, and he's Trump's quote unquote right hand man. And they're working on the thing of the Department of Government Efficiency, acronym DOGE. I thought that was amazing, but I think he's a brilliant man. Personally, a man that can do what he does is brilliant. And I believe he homeschools his kids. I can't believe he homeschools them personally, but I believe his kids are homeschooled. If I read that years ago, it could have changed. But yeah, the man's on the move because he's got lots going on. He was in Germany, speaking on behalf of one of the people who were running for office. And he was speaking on, I think on her behalf. She was right wing, and he was supporting her, and he's Trump's right-hand guy, and he's doing big stuff in the, I heard him speaking a little bit, I think over the weekend about, or was it yesterday? I think yesterday, just about how he wants to make America, in terms of the leader for the space frontier, and to put people on a different planet. And he's got so many things. He's got his underground tunnels, which he's building, trying to build streets underground. He's got his the chip where he helps paraplegics and people with, I think, severe muscular issues. He wants to use, they've been testing this, the CNET chip, to connect all the neurals to allow them to use their brain to fire their muscle because of the disconnect. Help people who can't move. And the next layer to that, if and when that goes successful, is to connect people with the chip to the internet somehow, so they can actually work. It's really incredible, some of the stuff they're working on. And yeah, the guy is nuts. And I love seeing him part of Trump's department. I think genius. And Trump is he's doing things outside of the box, which he always does. But I think he really is changing the face of the game. And, we get to sit back as non-Americans and just sit back and watch and be like, let's see how this works out. But I honestly, people are like, "Oh, are you?" I'm politically well, I don't know. It's not my country, so for me, it's just like they do.
Well, it might be. Wasn't he trying to get you as the 51st state?
Oh my God, I think he wants Canada and Mexico, but that's Trump. Trump's going to say a million things. He's probably going to do 5% of them, but he's going to say some things that are going to cause reactions. But I think it's fantastic. You got to talk the talk, right? You got to talk big. And who would have known? I've never watched his life story, but they've got a couple movies on him now, right? They've got a newly released one. And, and if you're going to grow from wherever he was into the presidency and go bankrupt, I don't know how many times along the way, because he went bankrupt multiple times and he kept coming, you've got to be a big thinker, right? You got to say crazy things and see crazy things. And look at what he's accomplished and look how far he's come. So hats off. But like I said, as a crypto guy, no, he's the right guy. As a president, if you're in the crypto market, that's who you want to win, because it's so good for us. All the other stuff I can't speak to. You know what I mean? I don't know about, how he's going to be relative to, society and blah, 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 blah. And
I know he's pulled away from the World Health Organization, and that's something based on the stuff I know about the WHO. That's a good thing. I mean, a lot of people think it's bad, but that's actually good, because especially who's running that and their plans and everything. So when I see something like that, yeah,
that's so cool. I try because my world is busy and I need to be laser focused on what I do, and I don't want to get outside of my own world. So I stick to the crypto stuff, especially on his podcast. And I know he's good for crypto, and I know this is going to be, it is set up to be the best bull run of all the bull runs, and everything is in place. So, we'll see how it plays out, but him winning was spectacular. Spectacular for the stock markets and spectacular for crypto. So we're pumped, we're excited, and I don't worry. My clients don't worry about these pullbacks. These pullbacks are opportunities to buy in. Just think of the stock market. You think of the top 5, or like Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, Google, Meta. Just think if those shares or whatever, if they're $500 a share each, and let's just say, there's a big pullback and they all drop to $200-$300. You have some in your portfolio. Number one, are you worried? No, because it's going to recover. And if you don't have some in the portfolio, or you don't have enough, then you just buy more because it's a great time to buy it. Just think of it that way. That's all it is. It just drifts down. You're like, great, I'll buy more if I don't have enough. If I have lots, it's like, okay, no big deal. My portfolio kind of half, but these are the big ones. They're just going to go back up in no time because it's just a pullback, and they're going to go up and all lights are green. And that's kind of where we're at. Except in crypto, it happens super fast. It can recover in 3 days. In 2, 3, 4, 5 days, it can recover. Like all coins, which are alternatives to Bitcoin, can go up 100% in 2, 3, 4 days. So it's not even a blink of an eye for us.
Heard you talking about kind of results and goals. And I think it's important if we touch on that, because a lot of people, they don't really have a plan. And it's the exact same in life. Whatever you're doing, and I think you have a better chance of achieving something with a goal and looking for a certain result. So you might touch on that.
Of course. I like to talk about beginning with the end in mind. Beginning with the end in mind is usually a good strategy because it allows you to visualize the end. Where the end can be, where you're going, what your goals are, what the vision is. What is the end? What are we trying to accomplish here? And beginning with the end in mind, then you work backwards to where you're at, and it gives you the mission. So the vision is kind of where you want to go, and people are very vague about where they want to go. But if you really start at that point and don't start trying to build when you think of mission and vision, the vision is where you want to go and the mission is how you get there, right? People have a quick vision and then work on the mission, and it's like, no, stick more on the vision. Begin with the end in mind. Get really detailed. Be very, 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 analytical. Be very, very descriptive. Be very, very not just visual, but really embody that. Where is it? What are we trying to accomplish? The goal, the vision. What is the end? What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? If you're investing, what do the numbers look like? What is the calculation like? What are you trying to get to? When you have that solidified, then you can start to work backwards to where you're at and go, okay, in order to get there, what steps do I have to take? If you think of the militaries are absolutely incredible, right? When they design, when they have a vision and they have, 4,000 men and they need to be, I don't know if you guys do miles or kilometers. We do kilometers in Canada, they do miles. And
I think everywhere does well, I think the UK is in Ireland. They changed it from miles to kilometers, but Poland is kilometers.
Okay, so kilometers. So if they need to move 4,000 men, 50 kilometers. They have that worked out to basically the minute. They arrive on the minute by foot, and they don't do that by accident. They say, hey, the vision is we got 4,000 people. They need to be 50 kilometers away by foot at this area at this minute. Perfect. Then they create a mission, and they stick to the mission, and it's incredible because everything is just boom, 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 and they get there. And there's no like, oh, we missed it by 3 days. Sorry, we're coming to support some troops. Oh, we're 3 days late. No, there's none of that in the military.
I got a blister on my foot and I decided to sit down for half an hour.
No. They do things and it's incredible. They begin with the end in mind. They know exactly where they're going to be, what time they're going to be there, and then they develop how that's going to happen. When they make a plan, they stick to it. And it's not about sticking to the plan. It's just about how incredible they are at developing the vision and the mission to get there. And I guess in crypto, for investing or any investor, whether you're in real estate, whether you're opening up a business, whether you're doing, or whatever, there needs to be an end plan. What am I doing here? I've got X amount of money, right? What am I trying to accomplish with it? Do I want to try to double it? Do I want to 5x it? Do I want to 10x it? Because based on your goals, your mission is going to be different. You don't play the same game in soccer if you're trying to get one goal as you're trying to play to get 5 goals. They're a different sort of strategy, right? Like in sports and boxing, it's a different fight if you're trying to knock someone out than if you're trying to win by points, right? Or if you're trying not to get knocked out. They're all sort of different. And hopefully I'm not getting a little bit crazy here, Roy, and you're trying to hear what I'm saying. The game plan will depend on the end. So if you have an end vision in mind, to the extent that you're clear on the end vision, to the extent you're going to get a better game plan. Cool thing about crypto is, yes, you have to pivot because everything changes, but the game plan doesn't have to. You just have to keep changing. The vision doesn't change. You just keep changing the game plan to accomplish the vision. So on crypto, like if you want to get in and you want to double your money, it's easy. You put a bunch of money in something like Ethereum or Solana and you close your eyes and you wait 3 to 6 months if they're going to double. There's not really much to do it. But if you want to 10x your money, you got to be a little bit more strategic. This is for long-term investing or for bull run investing. Then you got to maybe create a more diverse portfolio from, high caps to mid caps, ones that can perform better. And then you got to be a little bit more assertive. When you start making money and you're double or triple or 4 or 5x in one, you got to pull out some profit, put it into another. Rotation of capital to grow at a rapid rate. So there's a lot of techniques and strategies I employ with my clients, depending on what they want to accomplish through this bull run. And I've got some doctors that are just close their eyes, throw some money in, and they're happy. They're going to double and triple their money, and they do absolutely nothing. They just buy, 3 or 4 things, close your eyes and they know they're already, I mean, some of my clients from last year are already up 10, 15x on their portfolio. Ones that have started not too long ago, they're 3x on their portfolio and the bull run hasn't started. And these guys aren't doing very much. My more active people, no, they'll do better, right? Because they're really kind of in there, things double or triple, they take out some money, find another project, and they're much more active. So it really depends on how active you want to be and what your goals are. Right? I always find the people with less money, as always, are going to be more active because they want to make more. And the people with more money, it's just funny, this rule of money, the more money you have, the less you have to do, right? If you had $1 million and it doubles, you're okay. And it's not hard to double, to double. So if you have $1 million and it doubles, you make $1 million. If you have $10,000, you want to make $1 million, you got to really, really put some work behind it. It may not even be possible, to do 100x on it, right? But I find the people with very little money who I don't work with people, who have under, $10,000 or $20,000 to invest. They're just not my people. But the people who don't have a lot of money, they generally have to take big risks. And I always find the more money you have, the less risk you take. The less money you have, the more risk you take. Really, it's kind of like that. But anything over, $10,000 or $20,000, if you want to manage it yourself, you can do pretty good in crypto. The cool things is, I think I told your clients this last time. A couple things you always remember, everyone. Number one, and my do's and don'ts. Never give your money to anybody in crypto. Did we cover this last time?
We did,
Right? Yeah. But you can't hear this enough. Never give your money to anybody in crypto. If you give your money, you're never going to see it again. I don't care how much you think this is. If it's too good to be true, Roy. If it's too good to be true, it's not true. It's not true. 100%. If it's too good to be true, it's not true. If someone sends me an email saying, if you help them, they've got $21 million stored in Africa, just send them, it's not true, right? Crypto, the same thing. Even if they say, hey, don't give me your money, check out this platform, just send it here. Don't get suckered. They're top tier international centralized exchanges in crypto that are easily, identified, and they're top tier ones. Then there's a bunch of ones that people create and sell to other people. It's like, send money there. See, you're not sending me money, you're sending it to the exchange. They own the exchange. But when you send money to the exchange, you're never getting it back. So buyer beware, educate yourself, always, and always maintain control over your own money. And even when you think it's control over your own money, be sure that it is, because you can open up a fake exchange, spend the money there, but they own the exchange. So you think it's your account. It's not, it's theirs. But there are easy ways of telling the fake ones from the good ones. And if you have questions, just email me, Daniel@emcdental.ca. Just reach out. I'm always happy to help. But anyways, I'm not saying we're done, but Roy, I just want to throw that in the middle as opposed to the ends.
Like you've mentioned, the exchange, and this is one of the things, like I know it's mainly Americans that kind of the market and everything, but this is one that I got on the 17th of January, 25 from Binance. And it's basically, we're writing to inform you of upcoming changes to crypto withdrawals and deposit procedures that will affect users in Poland. But these changes are being gradually implemented to prepare for EU regulatory requirements and to comply with local guidelines. And it's basically like when you're sending crypto or receiving crypto, you will need to give the following information: the full name, the country, and the name of the crypto exchange. So it's more and more regulation kicking in, but like most of the time, like all the information is being passed back anyway to the IRS or whatever country you're in. So that's the kind of my fear. I know you don't touch on kind of optimization and things like that, but it's like people need
about it a bit.
Yeah,
let's talk about it. So the whole point of crypto, so Bitcoin was released January of 2009, right? And the whole point of crypto was to create what's called a decentralized system. A decentralized system is the opposite of a centralized system. What is a centralized system? A centralized system is where there is somebody or an entity or a corporation or company in control. It goes like someone at the top, something or someone controls the entire system. So a bank is centralized, a government is centralized. Our money, your local currency, which we refer to as fiat, which means your local currency, is centralized. So which means, you could go to your bank tomorrow, and if for some reason someone who is within that company, that entity decides, Roy, you know what? something happened and we're just going to delete you from our system. And they'll be like, there's no Roy. Or no, Roy, yeah, you're here. But no, you don't have 50,000 in your account. You have 5,000 in your account. And you're like, no one has 50. It's like, go ahead, Roy. Make that happen. Prove it to them. You can't. If they change, you can't. How we record our deeds in Canada, like my all stuff is all registered. I have a condominium. So, my condo's registered with the city and the government. But if I go down there and they go, oh, no, you don't own that, what recourse do I have? There really isn't very much. And you've seen in Canada, we've talked about this before, when the government has frozen our accounts a few years ago. This isn't 20 years, this is a couple of years ago. They decided to freeze the accounts of a bunch of Canadians who supported the truckers who were on strike. So that means you go to the bank next day, you go to use your Interac or your bank machine or your Visa, and all your funds are frozen. You can't take money out. Imagine if you had to take money out to feed your child. And the government goes, no, we froze your accounts. Why? Well, you donated $50 to the truckers who were striking. It's like, well, of course, we're Canadian, we're empathetic. Could have been an uncle or relative, or I could have just felt bad. And they froze your accounts. That's centralization. The point of Bitcoin, when it was first released, was a decentralized system, which means nobody controls it. And the way that they do a decentralized system is based on blockchain technology. And blockchain technology, please, for your listeners, don't get messed up. It's really, really, really simple. It really is easy. All a blockchain is, and I think we've done this a long time ago, is I'm going to show you right here what a blockchain is. Imagine this notebook. See this notebook? Imagine it's a magic notebook. And in the notebook, anything I write in this notebook can't be erased. So here we go. I'm going to open up notebook. I'm going to say, you know what? Roy has $10,000. Great. Roy sends Daniel $5,000. Great. Daniel sends his sister 1,000, sends his brother 1,000. Great. Well, Roy now has 5,000. Daniel has 3,000, and my brother has 1,000, and my sister has 1,000. That can't be undone. Why? Because every time I write Roy has 10,000, he sends Daniel 5. It's on top of that. It can't be undone. Daniel sent his brother 1, can't be undone, can't be undone. So everything written in this thing is magic, can never be undone. And that's all the blockchain is. It's a transparent system that we can all see, that once a transaction is logged on the blockchain, it can't be undone. This one is built on top of that one. So that can't be undone, can't be undone, can't be undone, can't be undone. So it's a transparent system for all to see. One of the really cool narratives coming out this year is called real world assets. And that's where we're putting real world assets on the blockchain. And it makes sense. If Roy owns property in, whatever, pick in Germany or Poland or wherever, I own property in Canada. If it's on the blockchain, it's on the blockchain. It can't be undone. Everybody knows. And then if I sell it to Roy, it can't be undone. It's everyone sees. It's a transparent system open to everybody. So that's why decentralization is such an incredible concept, because it's transparent and nobody can control it and nobody can change it. But when our money is online on a decentralized system, it's there. Nobody can change it. Nobody can say, oh, you know what? I want to do this. I want to do this. Or, we're the country and you had $1 million Canada and our country decided to devalue our dollar. And now our dollar is worthless. My $1 million is now worth like $100. Well, no, if we're all working on the same world economy and the same, we're all using the same digital currency, then it's all tied together and we all have this universal value. So that's the concept of it. And I think it's a beautiful, beautiful concept. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm just curious, since you're Canadian with Trudeau kind of gone, because I don't know what's going on in Canada. So
Typical, but adios, buddy. Nobody wanted to see him. I never wanted him in the first place. And I'm completely happy he's gone, and he's gone in the way he should have been gone, in shame and in ridicule, right? He was forced to step down. He refused to. He put his own agenda ahead of the need of the people he represented. When you have a leader who's more worried about himself than the people he's elected to take care of, that's a terrible leader. And that's a definition of our prime minister. And he got what he deserved. Nobody wanted him. His own party forced him to step down, and he refused to. And finally, he caved in. And again, any person, even as a leader of a family, when you put your needs ahead of the needs of the family, you're not doing the family a service. And I say that with conviction. I don't get into these topics, but I'm 100% solid behind that. He put his needs and his wants and his desires over the need of our country, and our country suffered significantly because of it, and we will suffer for years because of his actions. And I'm happy to have him gone.
Is there a new leader elected already, or what's happening there?
No. There'll be a couple months. We got a few things to figure out. We've got some people, up there, and getting ready to get into the elections and stuff. But like I said, we're him leaving. Listen, it's not like it's only going to go up from here, regardless of the new leader. But it's like America, where you go, right wing, it was left, right wing, left wing, right wing, right, same thing in Canada. The Liberals had power. He maintained power by doing some stuff with the NDP, sort of like making some backdoor deals so they controlled. But he's out. It's probably going to shift to the right. It's probably going to be a conservative leader, and for prime minister, it's likely to do that. But it's the same way with most countries. What happens is when you have a political party pulling the country one way and it keeps going for too long, people get tired and they want to go the other way. It's not because they want the other way. It's just most people want the middle. Roy, most people want the middle. If you ask the average Canadian, even the average American, are you far right or are you far left? The average person goes, neither. I'm kind of in the middle. Like I might be a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, or a little bit on these things, but most of us are in the middle. Nobody wants to be over here. Nobody wants to be over here. The problem is you only have two choices, left or right. It's like, where's the middle party? Where's the normal party? It's the common sense party. They don't exist. So if we want the middle and we've been pushed too far left for 4 or 8 years, then we're going to pick the right, not because we want to be all right. We want to move things back towards the middle. And then 4 or 8 years later, they get too far right. And then they're like, oh shit, they're too far over here. We're going to elect someone on the left. Why? We don't want the left. We don't want to move it towards the middle, but then they overshoot. And it's just a stupid game. It's like, has anybody not noticed can we just not build a party in the middle? And apparently not. Apparently that's never going to happen, at least not from our North American politics. Canada, the States is all I'm familiar with. But yeah, it's just, we just want the middle. At least that's what my understanding of the average Canadian and the average American is. What are your thoughts, Roy? Am I crazy over here?
Oh no, I think and even with Ireland as well. I look at the different parties. You'd left and right, and they both came together for the last 10 years and everything, and then they were kind of voting for Sinn Féin, which was another party. They got a certain election, so people are moving. And then they've realized they're all the same, to be honest with you. And like the opposition in Ireland, they were all kind of telling people how to vote for a certain referendum that was done. And they basically just showed their colors that none of them were to be trusted, which is sad. The reality is, I think everybody just wants a roof over their head. They want to look after their family. They want to be able to walk the streets safe. They want the roads to be good, hospitals to be good, the education not to be too corrupt. And unfortunately, each one of them promises that, but they never do it. They just make it worse and worse. And the reality is, we have to have a system that makes them accountable. If they're promising something and they don't deliver, that they're gone. And direct democracy is what they say. I'd love to see that in play, and that would be something that would work.
What I believe is, I read somewhere about in Japan, and they talked about why American businesses cannot compare to Japanese businesses. And the thing, this was years ago, I read this and checked my accuracy, but the thing I thought was astounding was they talked about in Japan, some businesses create what's called 100-year game plan. So the business has 100-year game plan, 100 years. And every CEO who gets elected to the position or makes that position or whatever, their job is to move it towards that plan for the time that they're there. The next person jumps in and takes it, and they're all trying to get it closer to that plan. And they just keep moving with laser focus. And of course, needs some tweaking, but they just keep moving. Now, the difference is, in most businesses, and that I know of in America, not that American, but even Canada's the same. You get a CEO goes, oh, I'm going to change now. We're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and it's always changing. What would be very cool with government is if the people all came together and we created 100-year game plan for our country, and then all we do is see when we elect who is going to be the person we believe will take us as many steps closer to that in the next 4 years. And they get elected and they get to move the dial as, towards that as much as they can. And they're gone. The next person does the same. But the game plan stays the same. Sorry, the vision stays the same. We're just electing people trying to get us to that vision. What did you say? Safe streets, drivable roads, good education, good healthcare, staples. How about homelessness being eradicated? How about poverty being eradicated? How about us moving a society, towards that? And then and I'm not talking communism and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking that at all. I'm just saying, as a society, we have very basic goals and needs, right? And then having a big vision for a very healthy society, even if a healthy, robust economy, and if it's even if it's like a free will economy or an open, that's great. Have the vision and have the rules, what would allow that economy to thrive, and then move our society towards that, right? And I think that would make an immense amount of sense. So when you're electing people, it's not their ideas. Why do you need a new idea? What we want is the same. Jory, you just said what we wanted. I mean, we could write, I think, a list. I think it could have 10 items, 10 main items. And I think we'd cover 80% of everything, right? Like, accessible healthcare, affordable housing, affordable food, a good education, blah, 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 right? Lower crime, get rid of whatever crime. And that's our goal. And then we just have, our elected officials are moving us closer towards that goal. It's not like we don't need a new vision every 4 years, but apparently we do. We don't need someone with the answer. It's like we already know what we want. Just can you help us get closer there? And if you can't, after a year, the accountability, if the people every year feel like, hey, this person is doing a good job, scrap them, get a new person in, right? We should have a yes or no, at least thumbs up or thumbs down, like they did in the gladiator days, right? When they're down and they're like, if you're the gods, go live or die. And every year we should all go, he's doing great, or let's dump them. Let's get someone new in who's going to push us towards the goal. Anyways, I'm ranting. This isn't crypto stuff. Just
But and to be honest with you, like everything there that you said, it makes total sense. And one of the things that I've often kind of looked at, and if we look at, say, El Salvador, how we went from it was one of the most dangerous countries to one of the safest, and look at, say, the Finnish system, the education, why we cannot replicate the systems that are totally working. Because I mean, they have a scale of who's number one in the different things. Whoever's one in these things, homelessness, lack of homelessness and all this. There's some countries they don't have any. Okay, let's just replicate that everywhere. It's doable. It can be done in a year, but they don't want that. They want the pain. But as you say, I mean, we're going on a little tangent. Before we finish up, I wanted to touch on a few things because, there's all these terminologies for words that people, hodl and what one, the slangs they use. There was one, shiller, shilling, and a few others. I'll mention them. So you might just tell people.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, I have some Instagram and YouTube videos explaining all the crypto slang because it's so common. Shill is when somebody promotes something. So if I had a big following, like let's say I had 10 million people, and if there was
Donald Trump would appear, shill.
Yes, and I treated my own meme coin. He's shilling Trump. HODL is HODL, means hold on for dear life, which means if you buy something, it doesn't matter what, you're holding on to the last, because you believe this thing's going to go up no matter what. So people who own Bitcoin, they're HODL positions.
So they should call it the gladiator, like we mentioned earlier, like hold.
Both means yeah. I mean, these guys, they're holding no matter what through thick, and they should. Bitcoin should be a HODL position. Bitcoin is not an investment; it's a HODL position. But give me some more acronyms. Fade. Don't fade this call. Fade is like in basketball when you do a fade, you're jumping back. So don't move away from this call. So if I say, hey, to your listeners, and I'm not telling you to buy something, let's just say there's a project. There's probably, I love Bean, and say, hey, Roy, don't fade Bean. Don't fade Bean means don't move backwards. Like, I'm telling you, this is going to be a good project. Don't fade it. So, which means you should, don't move away from it, move towards it.
Okay. Front run
is, that's a cool. So front running the market is this. So we all know, Bitcoin is going to go. I got to make sure I get this right, and I may not be right, but I'm going to give you my best guess at it. Front running the market is this. If we all know Bitcoin's going to go up from 100, is going to go up this Friday. We front run the market by buying it now. Right. So it's just getting ahead of something else. So getting ahead of it. So front run the market generally, and I apologize. That's one that I don't get into much. So I don't have that, but I'm pretty sure it means when you front run the market, you get in ahead of others, right? Knowing it's going to go up. So if we know a project's going to triple, we front run it. We get in now, and then we get in ahead of everyone else. I'm pretty sure that's what it means, but don't quote me on that. But that's my best guess.
Next one is, it's a whale, but it's not somebody that's eating McDonald's every day in America and lying at the beach. It's not.
Whale means a whale investor means someone who's got real big money, real deep pockets. So whales are people who, like where you and I might put $1,000 in a project, a whale will put 300,000, $500,000 or $1 million into a project. That's what a whale is. A whale is an investor with an immense amount of money who puts tremendous amounts of investments compared to the regular person. That's why they're called whales.
NFA.
And not financial advice. DYOR. Do your own research. So every time you see a public person like me, if we're talking about like, if I put something out there for my tribe and I'm like, hey, listen, this project looks really good, I always go, NFA, DYOR, right? Not financial advice. Do your own research. This is strictly my opinion. So don't consider this fact, and don't invest just because I said so. Do your own research, and not financial. You'll see that everywhere.
I mean, that's protecting the person as well, because somebody, you could mention 100 and 99 if you go up, and the person invests in the one that doesn't, because nobody knows what's going on. Yeah, and it's like this for you. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So
it's crypto. Wake up. Be yeah. And crypto, like I think I told your clients this, but this is another piece I'll throw at you. Sorry, are you done the acronyms? Is there more?
Yeah. No, that's it.
Yeah. One thing about crypto, you need to know, it's all insider trading. Crypto is all insider trading, you guys. It's like, this is a project, right? Like the Trump project. This is a project. The closer you are to the project, the more money. If we were on the inside, Roy, we would be having this conversation. You'd be on your
like Pelosi and our husband for the Senate to it. Insider trading now.
That is just disgusting what they get away with. It's disgusting because it's hypocritical. I don't care. I'm all for people making money. I'm all for people doing whatever. But what I don't like is the hypocrites. I don't like, you shouldn't do this, but I get to do it. I don't like that. That's just being a hypocrite. And I don't like people who don't play by the rules too. Listen, fine, I get it, right? Like these rules are made to protect everybody, but you are in a key position in this country. And yet you get to leverage your position and make hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars saying, oh, no, I'm just lucky. No, you're not lucky. You're leveraging it. But if anybody else leveraged their position, they would go after them and attack them. They'd incriminate them. They'd jail them. They'd strip them of all their money. They'd be criminalized, but not her. It's crazy. Anyways, God, you got me. We were talking. I lost my train of thought. Where did I start with this one? This was a good one. It's the projects. The people who are close to the projects, like if Roy and I were inside of this Trump project, we'd be having this conversation off of our jets. I'd be in my jet, you'd be in your jet. We'd have whatever, a bottle of champagne, we'd be chatting, reclining and having fun. So that's the project. And the further away you are from the project, the less to know and the less you'll make. And on the very outside is retail. Retail is the uneducated investor who comes in at the end. Retail is the person who watches, the crypto bull market just double, triple, and go up. And then at the very, they start coming in at the very end. They're the people who bought Trump coin at $75. They bought Melania at $12 or $14 right before it goes down to 36, right down, goes down to 4. Now, the good news is those projects may or may not stick around. The bad news is for most people in crypto who FOMO in, who are uneducated, the retail people come in at the end. They buy at the top and they're the bag holders. Then all the value of the bull run goes down. We hit a bear market and the value goes down by 80, 90, 99%. And they're stuck holding the bags, right? So you don't want to be on the outside. love to be on the inside. It's near impossible unless you're lucky and you know the right people. We're probably, I'd say, about halfway in, with me in terms of the people I know in the project. So we get good information and we're going to be ahead of retail, right? So when retail buys, we're selling. So for your clients and for your listeners, if you're going to invest, try to be educated, try not to be on the very, very outside. The people on the outside are usually make the least amount of money or lose the most money. Because in crypto, like I always say, for every $100 million made, it's $100 million lost, right? Like that money, that's how it works. So try not to be at the end. Educate yourself, whether you do it yourself, find someone to educate you, whether you reach out to me or someone else, not a big deal. But educate yourself. Get a little bit on the inside, because every layer on the inside, you'll do better. You'll do better, and you'll do better, and you'll have a much more successful investment. The closer you are, or the more educated you are on what you're doing, how you're doing it, what you're buying, when you're buying, all that good stuff.
Definitely. And I mean, like for me, I make sure that the people that are like yourself just eat and drinking, because I do so many different things. I don't have the time to be doing the research that you're doing, because you're surrounding yourself. Same with like friends of mine, they're surrounding themselves, they're doing the course, they're constantly educating themselves what's going on. And basically, that's what you're getting then. You're saving yourself hours, and you could go away and do it and study the wrong people. So, like what you've just said, and what I like is you're not saying just me. It's like, there's a few that do it, but there's a lot of scammers out there as well. But just make sure, that you get the right advice.
Make sure you get educated. You educate yourself. I mean, people watch this. They'll watch whatever. I don't care if it's a teenager, it's a geriatric, or anybody in between on a 15-second TikTok will talk about something and they'll throw their money at it. And I tell you, 99.9% of people who are speaking about crypto don't know the first thing about it. They completely don't know anything. I've seen the stupidest shit said on these things. I've seen stuff that makes no sense. Stuff that says the equivalent of me saying this: invest in the US dollar. It's going to hit $5 during the bull run. The equivalent statement was made in crypto. How can the $1 bill hit $5? Oh, it's going to hit $5 in value. That's what and it's like, it's so clear that they have no clue what they're talking about. But the uneducated person doesn't see that, right? It just doesn't see that. It's tough. Just like when I was a dentist, Roy, same thing. I lived and breathed. Everyone said they're a cosmetic dentist, and these are dentists who do like, of one veneer or one crown in the front. I lived and all I did was smiles. That's it. I don't do fillings, don't do root canals, don't do nothing. I don't actually do any dentistry other than only this little piece. But what I did at a world-class level. And I'm like, oh yeah, my dentist does that. So if he does that, it's like, sure. I mean, I'm not going to talk bad about anybody, but somebody who's done one tooth compared to, 1,000 smiles that I do, where I do 2 or 3 smiles a day, every day for a decade. And somebody who's never done a smile but does a tooth goes, oh, I kind of do the same thing. The uneducated person wouldn't know the difference. It's the same thing in crypto, right? Find the right people who are authentically and actually educated, and then, and learn from them, and go make some money. This is it. Like, you've got a great opportunity in the next little while to make a bucket load of money. Jump in, make your money, get out, and go spend it on some fun stuff. That's why I tell everybody, we're not in it for the long haul, bud. We're in, we're out. By the end of this year, I'll be 99% of the crypto and not worried about it at all. And if there's opportunities at the end of the year, I'll share them and talk about them. But as of today, I don't know what's coming, but my goal would be to be, almost completely out of the market before the bull runs over.
Excellent. Listen, Daniel, as always, thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. You might let people know where they can find you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm in Canada, so you can fly. Just kidding. You don't have to fly in Canada to find me. Thank God we're virtual. Just send me an email. My name is Daniel, Daniel, at emcdental.ca. emcdental.ca, because I'm in Canada. Send me an email. It's the easiest thing. You can find me online, but it's really, if you're curious about watching me on some stuff, my Instagram, I am Dr.Daniel, Daniel. Same thing for YouTube. Daniel. I got some cool stuff on YouTube, cool stuff on Instagram. I post all of our stuff on Instagram too, Roy. So you'll see other episodes of Roy and I and some other cool stuff. And just go there, just do some basic watching. If I resonate, if you like some of the stuff I do, the way I talk, the way I teach, just send me an email. I can always send you some more free training, or we can have a conversation. Really easy. I'm easy to get along with, and happy to have a conversation. I no longer advertise my program, Roy. I don't know if I told you that. I don't advertise referral only and podcast only. So if you're on the podcast or you're hearing it, you want to get a hold of me, happy to have a chat. If you get a tap on the shoulder about me, happy to have a chat. But I don't bother anymore with all the ads and stuff. Just program's good. I'm happy. Things are good, and I just really want to focus on helping the people I'm working with make a tremendous amount of money in the next little while.
I'll make sure I'll put all the links, put on the audio and the video. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you, my man. Always a pleasure, and look forward to doing this again. Maybe we'll do another one in the not too distant future to see whatever happened after Trump took office, and we can maybe, review the next month or two in this crazy crypto world.
No, absolutely. So that's all for the Crypto Podcast. You'll find all our episodes on the cryptopodcast.org. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, 5-star rating, share with your friends, and comment what we discussed. We'd love to read your comments. Until next week, take care. So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. As mentioned at the start, you can find my 6 podcasts on roycollin.com or scan the QR code if you're looking to start a podcast or do a podcasting tour, help with that. Also, if you're looking for a virtual assistant, we also have that service. And you can help the show by visiting the store, supporting our sponsors, or making a donation. Until next week, take care.